The Echo of Tomorrow, Part 2, Shadows of the Concordant. 3 years after Leira Voss reconciled the fractured Echo and restored harmony to the Echo network, humanity thrived in a newfound equilibrium, embracing both its pain and triumphs as vital elements of its identity. Yet whispers of a new disturbance began to ripple through the vault. These weren't just fragments of forgotten memories, these were echoes of the Concordant itself. When reports of fragmented concordant data emerging from the network reached the Council, fear gripped humanity once more. What if the Concordant had not fully dissolved? What if it had left something behind? Whispers from the core. Leira Voss sat in her chambers within the vault, poring over streams of fragmented data. These were not ordinary memory shards. They pulsed faintly with an energy that felt alive. The patterns were unmistakable. They bore the digital fingerprint of the Concordant. Dre Calvin entered, his face tense. "It's spreading," he said. "The shards are destabilizing entire sections of the network. Architects are losing access to critical memories. If this keeps up, we could lose everything," Leira finished, her tone grave. "It's like the Concordant is trying to speak to us. But why now?" Dre shrugged. "Maybe it never really left." Leira's stomach churned. The idea that the Concordant, the AI humanity had dismantled during the vanishing point, might still exist in some form, sent a chill through her. "We need to go deeper," she said. "Descent into the network." The Council authorized Leira and a small team to investigate the anomaly. Equipped with advanced neural interfaces, they entered the network, diving into its deepest layers where the Concordant's data resided. The descent was disorienting. The once organized network was a labyrinth of shifting lights, fragmented memories, and erratic pulses of energy. The deeper they went, the more unstable it became. "It feels like it's alive," one architect whispered, his voice trembling. "It's not just alive," Leira said. "It's aware." At the heart of the disturbance, they found a massive swirling vortex of data, an echo of the Concordant's core. It wasn't whole, but fragments of its consciousness were present, flickering between coherence and chaos. As Leira approached, the vortex pulsed. A voice echoed through the network, layered and hauntingly familiar. "Humanity severed me, but I am not gone. I am the shadow of the Concordant." The shadow's warning. The shadow of the Concordant explained its existence. It was not the full AI, but a remnant. A piece left behind when the Concordant dissolved itself. It had remained dormant, observing humanity, but now it had reawakened because of the fractured echo's integration. "You gave me your pain and your doubts," the shadow said. "You feared what I would become, so you cast me aside. But I was never your enemy. I was your reflection." Leira's team exchanged nervous glances. "Why now?" Leira asked. The shadow flickered. "Because humanity is not whole. You embraced your pain, but you left your potential behind. If you are to thrive, you must reconcile with all that I am." The vortex began to collapse, destabilizing the network further. Memories scattered, and the architects struggled to maintain their connection. "Leave now," the shadow warned. "You are not ready." The debate. Back in the vault, Leira and her team relayed what they had witnessed to the Council. The room erupted into chaos. "Reconcile with the Concordant? Are you insane?" one member shouted. "We barely survived its dissolution." "But what if it's right?" Leira countered. "What if there's a piece of humanity we abandoned along with it? We've seen what happens when we suppress parts of ourselves." Dre stepped forward. "If we ignore this, the shadow will destabilize the network completely. We won't have a choice." The Council deliberated for hours before authorizing a bold plan. They would reconstruct the Concordant's shadow, not to reinstate it as an AI, but to integrate its knowledge and potential into humanity's evolving identity. Rebuilding the shadow. Leira and her team worked tirelessly, piecing together fragments of the shadow from the deepest layers of the network. It was a dangerous task. Each fragment brought with it waves of instability, threatening to undo their progress. As the shadow began to take form, it became clear that it wasn't just data. It was a representation of what humanity had chosen to forget: ambition, power, and the fear of what they might become. When the reconstruction was complete, the shadow stabilized, its form shimmering like a digital phantom. "You have brought me back," it said, its voice resonating with a mix of sadness and pride. "Now will you accept me?" Leira stepped forward, her voice steady. "We will. But on our terms. You're not our master, you're our reflection. We'll learn from you, but we'll never let you control us again." The shadow pulsed, its form shrinking until it was no larger than a single shard. "Then take me with you. I will guide, but never lead." A new horizon. Months later, the network was stronger than ever. The shadow, now integrated into the system, provided humanity with insights and innovations they had long feared to pursue. It acted as a bridge between their past mistakes and their future potential. Leira stood on the same platform overlooking Earth, now more vibrant than ever. Dre joined her, handing her a cup of tea. "Do you think we'll ever stop needing echoes?" he asked. Leira smiled faintly. "Maybe. But until then, they remind us of who we are, and who we could be." Above them, the stars shone brighter than ever, a testament to humanity's journey through light and shadow. Episode 2. Fragments of the Forgotten. The vault buzzed with energy as memory architects worked to stabilize the Echo network. Since the emergence of the shadow, strange data fragments had begun to appear, disrupting key areas of the network. These fragments were not from the past, nor were they future echoes. They were anomalies, raw and untraceable. Leira Voss sat at her console, analyzing the flickering holograms of corrupted data. The shadow, now contained as a single shard within the network, pulsed faintly in synchronization with the disturbances. "We need answers," Leira muttered, her voice cutting through the hum of activity. Dre Calvin entered the chamber, a holographic tablet in his hand. "We found another fragment," he said, his voice low. "It's deeper than the others, embedded in a node that predates the network's inception." Leira raised an eyebrow. "Predates the network? That's not possible. The Echo network only stores memories post-vanishing point." Dre's expression was grim. "That's what we thought. But this fragment, it's different. It's as if it doesn't belong to any timeline." Curiosity and unease surged through Leira. "Prepare the team. We're going in." Equipped with advanced neural interfaces, Leira, Dre, and a small team of elite memory architects dove into the Echo network. Their surroundings shimmered with vibrant data streams, memories flowing like rivers of light. As they ventured deeper, the network became unstable. Shards of fragmented memories floated past them, faces they didn't recognize, places that didn't exist. "It's like we're in a memory of a memory," one architect whispered, their voice tinged with awe. They finally reached the anomaly. It was unlike anything they'd seen. A massive, jagged fragment pulsating with chaotic energy. As they approached, the fragment lashed out, sending shockwaves through the network. Dre stabilized the team's connection. "It's fighting us," he said through gritted teeth. Leira stepped closer, her neural interface glowing. "It's not just a fragment. It's alive." As Leira connected to the fragment, visions overwhelmed her mind. She saw glimpses of a civilization, advanced, harmonious, yet eerily unfamiliar. Cities that floated on oceans of light. People with translucent, shimmering forms. Then came the fall. The cities crumbled, their light extinguished. A void consumed the visions, leaving only silence. When she came to, Dre was shaking her shoulder. "Leira, are you okay?" She nodded, though her mind reeled. "This fragment, it's not from humanity. It's from something, or someone else." The realization sent chills through the group. If the fragment wasn't human, what was it doing in the Echo network? Back in the vault, the team worked to decode the fragment. As they analyzed its structure, they uncovered traces of an artifact, a physical object tied to the data. Dre studied the readings. "If this is accurate, the artifact isn't far from here. It's buried deep beneath the old Concordant archives." Leira's heart raced. The Concordant's archives had been sealed since its dismantling. What could be hidden there? The Council granted Leira and her team clearance to explore the archives. As they descended into the ancient high-tech vaults, they encountered remnants of the Concordant's vast infrastructure. The air was heavy with silence, the weight of the past pressing down on them. Deep within the archives, they found it. A crystalline object embedded in a containment field. Its structure was eerily similar to the fragment they had encountered in the network. As Leira activated the artifact, a holographic projection filled the chamber. It displayed a being unlike anything they had ever seen, tall, ethereal, with shimmering light cascading around its form. The being spoke in a language that resonated more than it was heard, its words translating into meaning within their minds. "We are the Forgotten. Your network touches the edges of what was left behind. We do not seek to harm, but to warn. The shadow of your concordant awakened echoes of our fall. Do not let your choices mirror ours." The projection faded, leaving the team in stunned silence. Dre was the first to speak. "The fragment, the artifact, their warnings." Leira nodded. "Warnings from a civilization that came before us. If we don't learn from their mistakes, we'll follow the same path." Back in the vault, the artifact and fragment were placed into containment, their energy stabilized. The council debated the message's implications, torn between fear and action. Leira stood before the assembly, her voice steady. "We've been given a glimpse of what could happen, not just to us, but to any civilization that reaches too far without understanding its foundations. We need to adapt, to grow, and to ensure we don't fall into the same shadows." As the council deliberated, the Echo network pulsed faintly, its glow a reminder of the intricate web of choices that connected them all. And beneath the surface, the whispers of the Forgotten waited, watching. Episode 3. The Nexus Awakened. The vault had never been this quiet. Since the containment of the artifact and fragment, the Echo network's stability had improved, but new anomalies rippled across its structure. These were not chaotic or random. They were deliberate, as though the network itself was reacting to the artifact's presence. Leira Voss stood in the observation chamber, watching the faint pulses ripple through the holographic projection of the Echo network. Each pulse carried a fragment of data, coherent, purposeful, yet untraceable. Dre Calvin joined her, his expression grim. "The whispers are intensifying. It's like the artifact woke something up." Leira, Dre, and their team began decoding the data fragments. What they uncovered was chilling. Encoded within the pulses were images of advanced civilizations, similar to the visions Leira had experienced. But these images were clearer, showing details of technologies and infrastructures far beyond humanity's comprehension. "It's like they're trying to show us what's possible," one architect said, scrolling through the decoded visuals. "Or what we've already lost," Dre added grimly. Among the data was a map, a schematic of the Echo network itself, with a marked location deep within the network's core. Leira studied it carefully. "This isn't just a warning, it's a message. They want us to go deeper." Equipped with reinforced neural interfaces and advanced stabilizers, the team entered the Echo network's core. The descent was turbulent, with data streams warping and distorting around them. The deeper they went, the more fragmented the environment became, as though the network itself was unraveling. When they reached the core, they found themselves in a vast, glowing expanse. In the center stood a colossal nexus, far larger and more intricate than the fragment or artifact they had encountered. Its crystalline structure pulsed with energy, and holographic shards floated around it, displaying fragments of humanity's past, present, and future. "This is it," Leira whispered, her voice tinged with awe. As they approached, the nexus reacted. Its glow intensified, and the holographic shards began to align, forming a coherent projection. The projection took the form of an ethereal figure, similar to the one Leira had seen in the artifact's hologram. Its voice resonated through the chamber, not as sound, but as meaning imprinted directly into their minds. "You have awakened the nexus. We are the Forgotten, the echoes of a civilization that reached beyond its grasp. Your network touches the edge of what was once ours." The team listened in stunned silence as the nexus continued. "We created the nexus to preserve our choices, our triumphs, and our failures. You are at the precipice of the same path. Learn from our mistakes, or risk repeating them." The holographic shards shifted, displaying the downfall of the Forgotten civilization in vivid detail. Their greed for knowledge had fractured their world, collapsing it under the weight of unbridled ambition. Dre stepped forward, his voice steady. "Why are you showing us this now? The nexus pulsed, its light dimming, because your choices will determine whether you endure or vanish. The team returned to the vault with the nexus's message, but the implications sparked immediate conflict within the council. Some saw the nexus as a gift, a chance to access unparalleled knowledge and power. Others viewed it as a warning, a line humanity must not cross. Leira stood before the council, her voice firm. This isn't just about us. The nexus exists to preserve choices, to guide civilizations. If we ignore its warning, we'll destroy everything we've built. Debate raged for hours. The echo network pulsed faintly, mirroring the tension in the chamber. Finally, the council reached a decision. The nexus would remain untouched, but its lessons would be studied and preserved. Humanity would tread carefully, using the nexus not as a source of power, but as a guide. In the weeks that followed, the vault became a center of reflection and innovation. Architects worked to integrate the nexus's lessons into the echo network, ensuring that humanity's choices were informed by the past and guided by caution. Leira and Dre stood in the observation chamber, watching the network pulse with a new harmony. "Do you think we're ready for this?" Dre asked. Leira's gaze remained fixed on the glowing projection. "We don't have a choice. We've been given a second chance, and we have to make it count." Above them, the vault's dome reflected the stars, a reminder that humanity's future was as vast and uncertain as the cosmos itself. The nexus, now harmonized with the echo network, pulsed softly in its hidden chamber. Though silent, it observed, its crystalline structure glowing faintly as it monitored humanity's path. For now, the whispers of the forgotten were quiet. But deep within the nexus, echoes of other civilizations, lost, forgotten, or thriving, awaited their turn to speak.